Alright, I am highly interested in what this kind of turns out to be, because I played Final Fantasy XI for several years, so many years. This quest is called An Otherworldly Encounter, level 100, given to us by a Hubigo messenger into Leolal, basically right next to the main Aetheryte. Here we go. Say, aren't you Mercy? That certainly saves me a lot of trouble. I was asked to find you on behalf of Mamool Ja. Curious happenings abound in Mamool of late, and we thought one of your worldly experience may be able to help us make sense of things. If you have the time and inclination to aid us, she awaits you in Mamool. You'll find her west of the plaza, in the large building near the two-headed statue. I just went that way for another reason. And no, I'm not gonna spend 924 to teleport there when I can just fly via the direction up the stairs, butterfly up the stairs. That's dumb. Go over to Yak T'el. It is for free. Okay, the previous video I made, I couldn't remember if it was free or not, but it is. I will, however, save time and spend 100 gil to teleport once I am in Yak T'el down to the southeast corner. Alright, and then from there, basically it's like straight southwest, a little bit more west than south. Fly. Inside the building, it looks like. Cool. And we have Mamool Ja, who, if I remember correctly, is the mother of... Wait, is she the mom of Mamool Ja? Or Zeral Ja? I think she's the mom of Mamool. Anyway, we'll talk to her. Cutscene. Probably not voice acted, but you can always hope. I say hi. Thank you for coming. Truth be told, I was unsure if I was right to call on you, but the troubles we now face cannot be overcome with our strength alone. I cock my head to the side, like, what's up? It all began when we found a fallen traveler in the sky-deep cenote. For a mercy, his wounds were not life-threatening. His kind is not a common sight in these lands, tall and slender of build, with pointed ears. He has yet to awaken, but speaks in his sleep of strange things that make little sense to us. It was our hope that you might recognize something in his ramblings, or perhaps even jog his memory once he regains consciousness. Might you be willing to speak with him? Of course. I pat myself on the chest a couple times. Hubigo comes running up, or Mamool. Hubigo. Mamool Ja, the traveler, stirs. Very good. If you would be so kind as to bring him here. The Hubigo nods. Cutscene fades to black as he walks away. We're still talking to Mamool Ja in a continuation of the cutscene. And an Elizin or Elven knight, white armor, kind of more paladin, walks in with the Hubigo guy. We are glad to see you awake and in good health besides. May I ask your name, traveler? My name, He looks down, thinking. I'm sorry, I can't remember. Mamool nods. It would seem the fall has affected his memory. In any case, his presence here is a complete mystery to us. His armor the only hint as to whence he came. Does anything about him strike you as out of the ordinary? I take a look at him, from boots up to head. I take a think about it. My options are, looks like your typical adventurer to me, or not much different from any other Elizin I've met, or would that be Eldite? Not much different from any other Elizin I've met, or would that be Eldite? He kind of ponders his eyes down. Elizin? Eldite? No, that's not quite right. Ah! He seems to get a headache. I remember. I'm an elven adventurer. Yep, Final Fantasy XI, baby. That's what they were called. Let's go. He looks at the Mamool. There were Mamool, I think, in Final Fantasy XI. I think they were more in the, like the expansion that was all about the past, where you could travel through the maws of basically Atomoses and go to the past. And you're Mamool Ja. Could it be I've come to Mamook? She nods. Wait, if I'm in Mamook, then I must have been taken prisoner. Malal cocks her head like, "'Tis so readily believe us enemies. Perhaps he comes from a land unfamiliar with our customs, across the salt." He comes from another world, baby girl. My options are he could be from Eorzea. Nope. I'm not so sure. ... Or maybe he came from Alexandria? I'm not so sure. We've no way to know for certain, in which case... another Mamool comes running in, one of the caster types. Zuriel Ja. Mamool Ja, we must gather our strongest fighters at once. We all turn to him. Why? What has happened? What's happened? Gulul Jaja's shade has returned. It's been sighted near Gok Drak descent. Bakul Jaja has engaged the apparition, but I fear the worst. The vow resolves companion from the feet of the Brotherhood. I suspect you would understand the graveness of this situation better than most. In recent days, the late Dawn Servant Shade has been seen wandering the woods of Yak T'el. I have reason to believe it was invoked in like manner to the one used in the feat. Only a privileged few of the Bunewa should be privy to the knowledge required to perform the rite. The culprit will be found in time, but we've a more pressing matter at hand now. Shakes his head side to side. I must hurry and inform the Landsguard. Bakul Jaja requires reinforcements. So the conjured shade of Gulul Jaja, who was the Dawn Servant before Wuklamat claimed that title, has been seen, and Bakul Jaja, the two-headed guy who we were like up against for most of this expansion, is trying to fight it. But yeah, the Dawn Servant Shade. I fear he may not hold out until the guard assembles. Malal turns to us. I am loath to ask such a favor, but would you aid Bakul Jaja in this battle? I give her a nod, determined look on my face. I'm in your debt. Gok Drak descent is to the west of here. Please, go and help my son. So I was right. She's his mom, not Zuriel Ja. The elven knight watches me go. As the cutscene kind of continues, he gets a little bit of a headache again. Gulul Jaja. He turns and sees the sword on the Hubigo, sword and shield that the Hubigo guy is carrying. Looks at his own hand, remembering maybe that's what his choices usually have been as a paladin in Final Fantasy XI. Cool. We fly west. It is literally as direct west as you can probably get. Tiny bit north, but it doesn't come more direct in this game for by coincidences, you know. Flying through the trees that have these neon mushrooms on them. Or actually, no, sorry, neon leaves. Big neon leaves. Let's say a foot in radius, not diameter. If they were perfect circles, they'd be about a foot in radius. But they're leaf shaped, you know. As is tradition. And then when we are in the southwest portion of the zone, pretty much very, very near to where we would enter the tunnel cave system to go to the Skydeep Cenote, we have our destination marker. Ugh, my neck is a pain. Talking is more difficult than it probably should be. Whatever. Gwa! Says a voice somewhere. We run to that. We run in that direction, theoretically. Mamool Ja is down one hand, one knee, fighting the shade of Mamool Ja. As menacing as ever. He points a blade at Mamool. Pathetic, and you dare call yourselves blessed siblings. Not bad. You might actually prove a challenge, says Mamool. The mystic head says, if you've come to help, best stay on your guard. He's not alone. I forgot how the voices are. Sorry. We look over at Galul, and there is a... what the hell? A female elven, or elzen, pointy ears, that's just... looks to be like a teenager. Pink hair, got a pony, like an up ponytail. Her arms, end in what looks like spheres, like actually big spheres, maybe, once again, maybe a foot in radius sphere. And those spheres have, like, if you have a spear, the tip of the spear, it kind of looks like 4 spear tips, kind of where the fingers might be on hands. Both of them have that. And then above her floats this gold half-circle crown that also has gold spears poking out, like 10? About 10 gold spears poking out of it. Half-circle. Other than that, kind of a blue motif with a red flowing cape that also has a bunch of spears at the end of it. And this rambunctious youth says, what's this? Another monster in need of slaying? Don't worry, I'll send them packing. I'm in my red mage stance. Here I go. She goes back a couple steps, leaps in the air. Nullifying dropkick. And the elven warrior, paladin, gets in front, raises his shield, says, no, you don't. Knocks her back. Blocks the attack, knocks her back. I can't explain why, but something told me I had to be here. Not bad. Not bad at all. But it'll take more than a couple of Tauri to stop me. T-A-U-R-I. Tauri. I don't know what that means. Tauri, are you daft, girl? Says the paladin. You can speak. A shame you don't seem to have any manners. The name's Prishe. Prishe. Oh, I know Prishe. How do I know Prishe? P-R-I-S-H-E. Definitely Final Fantasy XI. God, what was she? She had somebody she roamed around with. She had like an older... She was queen. Prishe was queen of something. Was this in the Ottergan expansion? What was Prishe? Anyway, you could actually get her as a trust later on, and she was fun. I don't remember the spiky... Oh, okay. Actually, now that I get a closer look at her, they're boxing gloves. They're big purple-blue boxing gloves. Like, big. Like I said, like a foot in radius. And like if it was a sphere. And they have the spear spikes at the end of it. The name's Prishe. You do well to remember it. She was good. She was a good person. She was a good guy. The Elven gets a headache. Prishe. She leaps back again, just trying to attack again, and hits him, knocks him back. He's down. You know, so you knocked him down. Haha, looks like I win. Oh, she sees a demon. Okay, so she's seen Tauri. Like, in Final Fantasy XI, they cast Doom. which is actually much like the Doom that is in this game, from that one boss, like the low-level boss. 1 Taurus down, 1 to go. I hope you're ready. So she sees me as a Taurus. Basically, like the Minotaurs that you would have in Greek mythology. A portal on the ground seems to open behind Mamool Ja. He turns to it, sheathing his weapons. Hehehe. At ease, Prishe. We've seen to our task. Come. Whatever you say, Ulmia. Oh, Ulmia, that was her name! She was an elven woman that, God, what does she do? She was a caster. I think she was kind of a white mage type. I don't remember for sure. Could have been a scholar. But Prishe is listening to Mamool Ja, who she thinks is Ulmia. Ulmia, what is she talking about? Says Mamool. But Mamool turns, walks, and steps into the portal thingy and blinks out in a purple dark thing. Prishe, wait! Please, don't go! But the elven paladin is too late. She has stepped in. Interesting. Mamool sheathes his weapons. I'm guessing word of the Dawn Servant Shade is what brought you here. I don't know what that girl has to do with all this, but clearly she's aligned with whoever summoned them. The way remains open, though there's no telling where it leads. Even so, they can't be allowed to return. We've a duty to protect this forest, and I'll not see it torn apart by some two-headed imposter. Let's hurry after them, brother. Watch over that one, won't you? Called me brother? I'm a female, but okay, fine, I suppose. Oh, he was talking to his brother, and then told me to watch after the elven paladin. Prishe, what's happened to you? So Mamool has rushed in. I don't see him anymore. Cutscene fades out. Good stuff. If you didn't know, Jeuno, for like the first, I want to say 50 levels? Maybe, yeah, Jeuno was the central hub for 50 levels. Just kind of like how in this game you had the three main nations. In Final Fantasy XI you had Bastok or Bastok, I always called it Bastok, Windurst, and Sandoria, or Sandoria. Actually, I don't know how that one should be pronounced either, but I always called it Sandoria. Actually, I don't know. Sometimes I call it Sandoria, sometimes Sandioria, whatever. It was S-A-N, I think it was S-A-N space D apostrophe Oria. So Sandioria, or Sandoria, whatever. Anyway, and then Jeuno was a central hub between them. And then later expansions, just like with any game, you had other hubs. But yeah. So that's why I think this leads to a raid called Jeuno something. That's why I've been excited about it. We talk to the armor-clad wanderer to continue, and we get another cutscene. He's up. He's on his feet, but he's stumbly a little bit. He seems to recover. Everything's still hazy, but I recall fighting alongside that girl. We were comrades in arms, I think. Yeah, she was a good girl. She's good. But something was clearly wrong with her. She not only mistook me for a monster, but she called her two-headed companion Ulmia. The Ulmia I know is an elven woman. Ha, I was right. A far cry from the reptilian fiend we encountered. Something dark has taken hold of her, clouded her mind. I have to go and... His left arm is like he grabs the left upper arm. My options are: you're not going anywhere with those wounds, or I'll go after Prishe. You're not going anywhere with those wounds. But she needs me. I tell him, pat my chest a couple times. I got it. You would go in my stead. I know not how to thank you. Final Fantasy XI, if I remember correctly, entirely not voice acted literally at all. I could be wrong, but I definitely do not remember any voice acting whatsoever. But anyway, there's like a back and forth, not staring contest, but he sees in me. I recognize that look. The eyes of a woman who's seen more than her fair share of battle. He nods to me. Despite what Prishe's done, she was a dear friend to me. I'm fairly certain. I give him a pat, two pats on my chest again, like, I got this. You're good. Have care, friend. There's no telling what lies beyond the portal. Beyond that portal. I didn't do a whole lot of these, but Jeuno, the first walk, is now accessible. I didn't do a whole lot of these, but this portal reminds me, I think, of like the hunt portals in Final Fantasy XI. I didn't do those much. Weekly reward limits. So I guess we're encountering something that has weekly limits again for the first time. I don't think I've ever, in my time in this game, encountered that. You can receive only one reward item per week for completing duties in the most recent raid. The instant you are awarded an item from the loot list, you relinquish your right to vie for all the remaining items regardless of whether you selected need or greed. Completing an objective and duties requiring an alliance will produce 3 treasure coffers, 1 for each party. Yeah, this means that your chance to obtain a reward is no less than that of other duties. Upon completing all objectives in such duties, players may vie for special items separate from those discovered in treasure coffers. You can only receive one of these special items per week per duty. Reward eligibility is reset every Tuesday at 3 a.m. Earth time. Doesn't say what time zone. It's 3 a.m. in this, like, Ultros? Ultros is telling me it's 4:33 p.m., which is my time exactly, so... anyway, duty reward restrictions are listed under duty. Okay, cool. And so this has gained me access, I believe, to Jeuno, the first walk. Once again, has an average item level I cannot access, but I'm very close. I'm 2 away. I'm 693 and you need 695. So probably like, if I run, specifically on Red Mage, if I run Yue Iwata one time and get 1 piece of gear, I'm golden. As long as it's not a piece of gear I already have better than, so it can't be head or legs. I mean, I could go buy, like, I spent thousands of gil. It wasn't massive, but it was thousands of gil on earrings, necklace. Did I get this hat and legs from actually running Yue Iwata? Because that's what they are, but I may have bought it. No, market prohibited, so yeah, I would have had to get it from the dungeon itself. I guess I got a couple nice drops. Anyway, that is at least part 1 of something, of an otherworldly encounter. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do next. But I will see you soon for whatever I do next. Bye-bye for now.